Hey everybody, this is Jamar back from Vegas Sense. First of all, man, I appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel, everyone that comments on the videos, everyone that likes the videos, everyone that shares the videos. If you find this information helpful or useful within this video, go ahead and again, comment, like, subscribe, and also share the video, all right? So in this video, what we're doing is I'm going to be rating my Dior Privee clone collection, you could say. I'm going to be rating these fragrances from my favorite fragrances to my least favorite fragrances. Now, in terms of the Dior Privee collection, the clones that I have are not all from the same houses or the same companies, all right? So these span over multiple different lines, multiple different, houses or companies. But what I do is when I look for these clones, I'm looking for, the Dior Privee scents that I think are most interesting to me. And that's how I've sort of built this particular collection, all right? So at number one, what I have here is Frenetic Delicieuse, and that's by Amir Paris Corner. This one, man, it's just a really delicious, spicy, chocolatey, almost kind of nutty, super gourmand sort of fragrance. And I wish I could wear this particular fragrance a lot more. This is definitely a fragrance just more so suited for like the cooler winter and fall months. But man, this is definitely my favorite fragrance from like that Dior Privee collection's, sort of scent DNA. I heard recently that Fave Delicieuse, which is what this is cloning, is actually discontinued. So probably for anyone that can't get their hands on that particular fragrance, this may be a good alternative. I don't know how close this is to the original, but I do plan to do a comparison. So at number one, we have Frenetic Delicieuse by Amir Paris Corner. All right, and so at number two, we have Amber Night by Perfumery Privezarah. So this is also a Paris Corner. This particular line is also from Paris Corner, and this is their take on Dior's Ambre Nuit. This is like a really aromatic, sweet but not super sweet or heavy take on amber scent. And this definitely, like I've mentioned before, this has kind of like a fizzy sort of effervescent sort of texture to it, almost similar to like what you get with Roja's Creation E. But again, this doesn't smell anything like that. It just gives you that same sort of texture or vibe, at least when you first spray this on. This one is definitely a good night scent. I do believe that you could wear this all year round. And in terms of the quality, man, I mean, for this to be like a low $20 fragrance, this is a absolutely great scent. It really is, man. I haven't really worn this too much since I've gotten it because, like I said, it's really more so like a night scent. But this is definitely one that I do plan to wear a lot here in the near future. All right. So at number two, Amber Night by Perfumery Privezarah. And at number three is sticking to the same line here, Perfumery Privezarah by Paris Corner, and that is Bois Dores. And Bois Dores, this one is their take on Bois d'Argent by Dior. This one I'm actually wearing right now. It's a really, really good take on Iris. It's fresh, it's clean. It has sort of like a sweetness to it, a little bit floral. I would say it's completely unisex. which in my opinion, a lot of these Dior Privee collection fragrances, they do tend to lean a little bit on the feminine side for most of them. But this one, in my opinion, is like right down the middle, completely unisex. Also, the iris in this isn't too powdery, so I think that's what also makes this, you know, less of a feminine leaning fragrance and more so just straight down the middle unisex. But I do enjoy wearing this one. It does sit super close to the skin, so this isn't like a beast mode performer or projector, but it does last a pretty decent, you know, amount of time, at least on me. So again, at number 3, that's Bois Dores by Perfumery Privezarah. All right, so at number 4, we're switching gears over to the Maison Alhambra line. And Maison Alhambra actually has several different Dior Privee collection fragrances within their particular house. And this one goes by Grise. All right. So Grise is Maison Alhambra's take on Gris Dior. And this one is a really, really unique scent, man. It's like, it's a floral type of scent. You get kind of like this watery sort of sweet rose when you first spray it on. You get like citruses with this as well, like from what I can tell anyway. But what this drives down to is, at least on me, is what this smells like. It just smells like a really fresh, clean patchouli and oak moss mix. But in my opinion, I mean, the oak moss it's not too earthy or too mossy, at least on me. This is just, I really don't know how best to explain this particular fragrance. I would say this is something that, you know, you have to try. I think this one leans just slightly feminine, but not to the point where I feel like, you know, anyone wouldn't be able to wear this. This is a really good scent if you just like smelling fresh, clean, but at the same time, luxurious and elegant. All right. So again, at number 4, that one is Grise by Maison Alhambra. All right. So at number five, we have Tabac by Maison Alhambra. And Tabac, this one I would say is the fragrance this one is definitely a lot more popular when it comes to people knowing about the Dior Privee collection when it comes to these Maison Alhambra fragrances. This one I've seen a lot. I've seen people review this particular fragrance. I've seen people buying and selling this particular fragrance within Facebook groups and whatnot. So this is definitely the most popular one out of, you know, the entire line that they've made. But man, this one is just this really sweet, dense tobacco honey mix. It's also spicy and earthy at the same time. This one is definitely one that is best for, you know, the cooler weather. I can't wait for it to cool down again, because I got this one like on the tail end of like our cooler weather, you know, season out here in Las Vegas. So I only got to wear this one a few times, but this one, man, this one, I really didn't like this one a whole lot when I first sprayed it on, but as I wore it more and more, and as I let it sort of sit for a little while, this one definitely, it started to grow on me. You want to be careful with how many times you spray this, because this can become really heavy and cloying. But again, this one is definitely, this is a winter weather or cold weather beast. All right. So at number 5, this one is Tabac by Maison Alhambra. All right. So at number 6, this one actually really surprised me in terms of how much I actually like this particular fragrance, because even though I purchased it blindly, I was actually expecting not really to like this fragrance that much. And I do actually like it. So this one goes by L'Oud or L'Oud by Maison Alhambra. And this is their take on Dior's Oud Ispahan. So this one, man, in my opinion, this is like a really wearable oud, in my opinion. I've seen, some people that have said that this one is, really animalic smelling and, it's a really hard to wear fragrance. I've also heard people say that this particular fragrance smells masculine. Now, I'm only speaking for this interpretation of the scent DNA. So, I can't compare how this smells to like the original Oud Ispahan. But at least, in this interpretation of the scent, this one, man, it's more so, in my opinion, on like the fresher sort of side of what a oud fragrance would be. This one, it does have some strength to it, but I wouldn't say that this is like a super dense oud. It's not a super skanky or dirty oud either, not in my opinion. This one, I would say it's not as mass appealing as something like maybe Oud for Greatness, but I would say it's not too far behind that in terms of how this smells. It does have a little bit of sweetness to it, but not a lot of it. And when you first spray this on, I would say the woodiness, it starts to get more intensified as it starts to dry down. It also starts to get a little bit more spicier. But in the dry down, I mean, this is super smooth to me, especially for a oud forward fragrance. So this one, man, like I said, it surprised me a lot by how much I actually like the scent of this. And I do tend to wear this quite a bit, especially for oud scents. So again, at number 6, that's L'Oud by Maison Alhambra. All right, so at number 7, we have Purple Wood by Maison Alhambra. And this one is their take on purple oud. So this one is more so towards the back, only because, I mean, this one isn't a bad scent. It's a really super dry, woody type of scent. The oud in this one, I would say, it's a super light oud. So for anyone maybe that is wanting to try oud scents or is a beginner to oud, this one would probably be like a good starting point because, I mean, really the oud in this, I would say, is pretty minimalistic. It's not, again, skanky oud. It's not like a really dirty oud. This is like a more so kind of airy, light, wispy type of oud. You get a lot of like that sweet, spicy saffron in this particular scent as well. And you get a lot of pink pepper in this as well. So this one, man, I can't really think of too many situations where I would really wear this particular fragrance. So I may be looking to, give this one, sell this one off. But, at the end of the day, it's not a bad scent. I don't hate this scent, but it just, at least for me, it doesn't really do too much for me. All right. So at number 7, that one is Purple Wood. All right. And then at number 8, this one is going back to the Perfumery Privezarah collection. And this one goes by the name of Grey Mountain. So this is their take, Paris Corner's take on Gris Montaigne by Dior, which is pretty much the same scent as Gris Dior, except I do smell differences between this and Grise. So the main difference that I get with this one is a lot more powdery. It's a lot more powdery. It's a lot more feminine smelling. When I initially sprayed this on my hand, for the first time, I liked the scent of it, but at least for me, like I kept going back to it and smelling it. And I'm just like, could I really see myself wearing this fragrance? And I just had to be honest with myself and say, like, not really, because this is just a super powdery, fruity, floral type of scent. And the main thing that I get with Gris Dior, when in comparison to this, is Gris Dior seems to be a lot more sharper, I would say, less powdery, more piercing. It has a more sort of unisex take on, what this scent DNA offers. This one, I really couldn't see anyone other than a woman wearing this fragrance. Now, I would prefer to smell this fragrance on a woman because I do think that, especially with the note breakdown that I've seen for this fragrance has notes, like strawberry and stuff like that in it. So I would say that's more so suited for a woman to wear and not a man. And that's who I would definitely recommend this for. The scents, they do sort of give you similar experiences. I would say they do still have like that really fresh, clean, patchouli oak moss sort of combination. But again, at the same time, this one is just a lot more powdery, a lot more on that feminine leaning side. And that's why this one falls at number 8 for me. All right. So let me know, man, have you all smelled any of these Dior Privee collection fragrances, or clone fragrances anyway? Have you smelled any of these at all? If you have, let me know what you think about them. And also, if you haven't, I'll definitely go ahead and leave links below in the description so you all can see where to go to, actually purchase these particular fragrances. All right. So if this information was helpful, again, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, please share this video as well. And that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.